Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Age 40 Years. My name is and forever will be Greg. A couple housekeeping items before we get started. No, I'm not sponsored by Bullet, although I'd love to be. I'm not sponsored by anybody. Actually, I don't know that I'd want to be sponsored by a bourbon brand. That'd be maybe a little misrepresentation of what I'm doing. I'm just trying to shoot some video and give my opinions on stuff. Also, what does help in lieu of sponsorship is if you like and subscribe the video. So there should be a little thing that pops up right over there that asks you to like and subscribe. Leave a comment as well, that's helpful. But hey, if you're watching the video, it's your first time here, or you've watched a couple, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. We're getting close to 100, which is surprising to me. I set out to do this just kind of for my own benefit, not really knowing what would happen. The fact that 60 plus people have found interest in what I'm doing, enough to click the subscribe button, is pretty cool. But today, on that vein, I'm doing my first subscriber recommended blind. So two of my friends, Phil and Chris, who reached out to recently and said, hey, I need to shoot some video. What do you guys want to see? One of them, Phil, said, I kind of like the blinds the most. And the other, Chris, said, hey, could you do like a budget bottle, of some things that might be good for, the $50, $60 range that you would maybe recommend. So what I did was I selected 4 bottles. I know what's in this blind. Selected 4 bottles. The lowest price that I paid for any of these is $50. The highest I paid is $65. So that hopefully is right in the neighborhood of what Chris was asking for, of kind of those budgets. I picked some that I feel are pretty good bottles in general, but don't really know how they're going to fare blinded against each other. He also mentioned to do a rye. I do not have a rye in here. However, I have another video coming out here shortly that will have a rye in it as well. That will be a rye review. So Chris, I got you. Love ryes. I got plenty of them over there, and always looking to get some more. But yeah, a couple other videos I got coming out. The 10-year of the Sagamore, a review of that, and also a blind between the Bardstown Discovery Series 10, 12, and 13, I believe is what I've got. So be on the lookout for those coming out soon. And if there's anything else you'd like to see, let me know. So with that, these are all, to my knowledge, I'm looking at them, they're over here off to the side. These are all bourbons. They are some single barrels, some are store picks, some are limited release, varying levels of proof. I have no idea which one's in what. They have a little number on the bottom. My wife is out of town, so I had to make this one myself. So I tried to make equally sized numbers and put them on the bottom on a piece of paper and tape them on there, just to help me make sure that I'm not leading the witness here. So I'm going to go through them and talk through what I think are my favorites. I do have what each number actually is, so that when we get to the end, we can keep track of that. I'm going to grab a pen so I can take my notes, and we will go ahead and get started. Start with A or whatever number. I don't have the clips on here because that would have made sense because I would have been able to see them. So we'll start with what I will call A. Now again, I learned this from my SLB friends. Roll the glass. What it does is it coats the glass pretty well so that you get a little bit better nose. You can pick out a few more things when you're doing your nose. I thought it was just made up, but it's legit. So let's give it a go. Initially pretty proofy. I'm getting some real good butterscotch and honey notes on this one. That's a great nose for A. We're starting out strong. I do think that one's got some proof though on the nose. That one's packing a punch, but a little bit of that, like, it's definitely a sweeter nose. Some honey on there. Really, it's like honeycomb. If you would eat honey, not in the is honey a liquid? I don't know. I guess it's got to be, right? It flows. My friend Phil will let me know. But that's more like a honeycomb, like a crystalline honey. A little bit of oak in there, but that's really nice. So a sweet nose. So let's give it a taste. Yeah, that palate's really good. It's not as sweet on the palate, although some of that honey flavor kind of carries through. That's delicious. Wow, okay. A great start. So whatever A is, a really good start here. It is definitely sweeter. The finish though on this thing is dynamic. It's a little hot. That's okay though. The heat is mellowed out by that sweetness, and it just carries kind of like that slight butterscotch through the palate and into the finish. Get a nice little hug on the end. I mean, I think that's really pretty great to start out. Yeah, now there I get a little bit more of the barrel flavor, but still into that sweetness. Maybe a little tanniny in the second go around, but I go ahead and give that where I think it lands. Again though, good start. Good start. Okay, what are we doing here? By the way, it's been, again, I live in South Carolina, just some incredible weather lately. It's been lows in the 50s and highs in the mid 70s. I think today, right now it says 76, high is 79. But it's just been awesome weather lately. I hope you have the same luck where you live. Oh, I need to write down B. Might as well do C and D while I'm at it. Crazy stuff going on in the world. At least we can get some good weather. All right. Let's try B. Oh, B is chocolatey. Weird. That is so different than A. That's chocolatey, a little woody. That is more of like your earthy flavors. Oh man, I mean, that's just straight up like Reese's peanut butter cup chocolate smell. It's really nice. Telling you, this rolling the glass thing, those guys, Trent and Kurt, are on something. Whew. Yeah, wow. Okay, you know what that reminds me of is when you get a waffle cone at an ice cream place and they dip it in chocolate. Now, I'm not a big chocolate guy, so that first bite when you get to that, too much chocolate. But when you get to the bite that's like half chocolate, half waffle cone, I mean, that's what we're getting right there, is that half chocolate, half waffle cone flavor. Doesn't come across as proofy, but that is so good. Well, this is gonna be tough. God, that's really good. It's just like a confectionery chocolate waffle cone. When you go into the ice cream place and you can smell them making the waffle cones. God, that is like spot on. All right, I'm a little uncertain on that one because I'm uncertain not on if I like it or not, but I'm uncertain on where to score it. Now that being said, the finish not as good as this one in my opinion. It's really just the same flavor all the way through, where I felt like the finish on A was a little bit more dynamic. So I don't know, take it for what it is. C. These glasses were recently washed, so they're, a good wash, but they're hard to get through my hand. They like skip. I don't have any oils on my hand either. I just washed them before I got started. Okay. All right, now that's totally different. That to me is your standard bourbon nose, oaky, proofy, caramely, a little tanniny, You definitely get some of the wood in there. I know I said oaky, but I mean more like the wood flavor, not just oak, but like wood. This, I don't have it in my blind. I don't have a product from Beam in my blind, but this smells like a Beam product to me. And it's like that dusty peanut, which typically I don't generally like, but everything I put in here I like, so I'm interested in what this might be. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, that is ooh, that's good. That is a pretty standard bourbon flavor right there. It does have a little bit of that dusty peanut flavor that you get out of like a Beam product. However, it's not as prominent, so it fades a little bit into more of the sweetness that you want in a bourbon. A little bit more proofy than B, maybe not as proofy as A. But that being said, that one's pretty tasty. And I mean, so far, all of these have been winners. Like, I just don't know how to say it other than I like all of these. Again, I picked the blind, so I know what's in it. But I think the point is, everything I've got in here, I believe, is pretty readily available. One of them maybe not as readily available, but still, they're all, I mean, the one that I'm saying is maybe not as readily available, I found at Costco. So, when I say that, they could be, it depends on your market, right? But for me, these are all very available. I could probably go buy all of these in the next month. Let's give this one another taste. So, sorry, my point in that is they're all available, plus they're good. I mean, they're good, and they're at that less $65 or less price point. Now, your definition of budget, my definition of budget, Chris's definition of budget, those all might be different, right? He said 50 to 60 bucks. I think that's what that's a reflection of, is stepping up from the early times, the old granddad, the stuff that falls into that $20, $30 price point. It'd be interesting to see how Buffalo Trace would do in this. I do not have a Buffalo Trace product in here. In fact, I don't have anything from Buffalo Trace. So I think that those, I consciously chose not to pick those. An E.H. Taylor single or small batch, a Buffalo Trace, a Eagle Rare, all of those should be priced in this price range. Unfortunately, they aren't always, and they're not always very easy to find. So I left them out, but my point in that is there's a lot of good options here, and that 50 to 60 range is still, somewhat budgety. One of the bottles that I constantly have do well in these blinds is the Bardstown High Wheat. I did not put that in here because it probably would have cleaned up, just because it's so good. Buy that bottle. But again, that's a $50 bottle. It is, without a doubt, the best $50 bottle on the market. And whatever wins here, I will put up against that bottle. So we'll do a follow-up test here. But that being said, some good stuff here that we're tasting. I would drink any of these regularly, consistently. I don't like calling it my daily because that implies that I'm drinking bourbon daily, but I understand the term. Let's try D. D's a really bright nose. And when I say bright, you get like a strawberry in there, like a red berry smell, like a strawberry raspberry. It's sweeter, definitely more confectionery, like a strawberry powdered sugar on the nose. That's delightful too. This is gonna be a challenge. Oh yeah, okay. That is the sweetest one of the bunch so far. Yeah, that berry, a real berry flavor, that's pretty good. God, this is not easy. Chris, the good point here is there is great bourbon at 50, 60 bucks. You don't have to chase Taylor's at 100 and Stags, and those are good bourbons, right? Don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure today when there's 200. I myself have a video out for $220 Russell's Reserve 13 that, quite frankly, I would drink all of these over, all of them. I just there's so much good value in this price point. Great idea on the video, by the way. This one has like no finish. That's weird. It's so smooth. Very little finish. A little thin. The mouthfeel, I would say, is a little light. But the flavor is excellent. Great palate. I mean, great palate. So, all right. We've got... so freaking close. This is going to be hard. I mean, okay. That's a problem. Now, I need to go back and try a couple of these in a slightly different order. So I'm not going to go all the way back through, but I do want to I've got some close calls. I mean, here's the deal. From the top, I have a 3.7 with an arrow pointing up, meaning it could be higher, could be like a 4, to the low being a 3.4. So 3.7 to 3.4, and the arrow pointing up on the 3.4 also. So I've got a 3.7, a 3.55, a 3.5, and a 3.4. That's the how I scored them. I think you could bump all of these probably 0.3 of a point, if I'm being honest. I was just trying to be a little conservative up front in case there was one that just blew it out of the water. But I would say, again, all these really, really strong. So let me go back and just test and verify a couple of spots. This one in particular I'm interested in. This is the first one. First one's always tough. Let's go here first. I feel like when I do these, I naturally handicap the first one. And I feel like I do that because I want to leave room for the other ones to delight me. Now, that being said, if you don't come back to the first one and really verify that that handicap was legitimate, then you're kind of doing it a disservice. So I don't know. Somebody could probably tell me if they watch my blinds. I don't know which ones have won in what spot, but I do know that it seems like A is the tough spot to be in. I mean, that is proofier than I feel like all of them. But it's a good proofy. All right. Let me check this guy one more time. Here's something fun for you viewers at home. God dang, that's good too. Gosh. Okay. Something fun for you guys. I want you to think about, and I'm going to give you a count of 5. How do you think I'm going to score them based on the way I talked about them? So you got A, you got B, you got C, and you got D. And now I'm going to go through what I remember about them. A was sweeter butterscotch and higher proof. B, chocolate waffle cone. C, more of your quintessential standard bourbon flavors with that peanutty mixed in. And D was the kind of red berry, sweeter, lighter finish. So I'll let you think for a minute, and I'll count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so what I would start with is this was an excellent blind. This really confirmed to me that we've got some great bourbon at a price point that you could go buy any of these and be happy. Okay, I'm going to move these out just so that they're out of the. Oh, let's put them up here, just so they're out of our way here, and bring them in the order that I finished them. So what we're gonna do here is, I'm glad I didn't mix those up because that would have screwed this up. In 4th place, now I gotta remember, I'm thinking, if I was watching somebody do this, how would I want them lined up? Would I want 4th here or would I want 4th here? I think I'm gonna do 4th place here. I don't know if that's consistent. I don't know what I've been doing. Okay. 4th place is C. Now C is, now this is where, I mean, we're doing some real Dan Brown shit here. C is number 1. Number 1 is 1792 full proof. Now, what I would say about that one is that does not surprise me on the notes that I got from this. I was not going into this trying to predict what was what, but that and I don't know that I would have pulled that out, but that doesn't surprise me. That is some of the 1792 flavor I get from time to time. Not always though, which is kind of weird. The bottled and bond, I don't feel like I get that peanutty kind of beam flavor, but I will say that I really enjoy that full proof. For those curious at home, this is a 125 proof, 62.5. This is a Total Wine pick, single barrel, great bottle. That was really good. Price point on that, $60. Okay, $60 at Total Wine is what I paid for that one. I've had it for a little while. I also have a sweet wheat on the shelf that I'm gonna try at some point here, but good bottle. Gave that a 3.4 with an arrow pointing up. I think not bad at all. In third place, we have letter D. D is this guy. Number 2, again, Dan Brown Codex shit. Oh, all right. So this is the Four Roses. This is the single barrels they've been putting out this year, the 100 proof though. This is the recipe is OESO. I gave this one a 3.55. Interestingly enough, the flavors that this one lists, which I really like that Four Roses does. This is rich red fruit. I said strawberry, vanilla, brown sugar, and delicate oak. I really like these releases that Four Roses is doing. I think it's really a nice product that they're putting out. I have another one on the shelf that's more of the rye, more rye in the mix. But hey, the OESO is an excellent mix, and I'll tell you, I paid, again, as we go through this, this is the lowest price I paid for one, $50 for this bottle, $50. That is such good value for that product. That, I mean, a single barrel with Four Roses recipe, OESO, you cannot beat that. Well, I say that because we're about to beat it, but my point is, great product, great price point, and yeah, I mean, two great bourbons to finish in third and fourth for these two is pretty great. Next, letter A is what I had in second place. So letter A is number 4. Number 4 is, oh, this bottle just keeps delivering. Number 4 is Jefferson's Reserve Cask Strength Special Release Kentucky Bourbon. Now, special release, Greg, special release, how am I ever going to find it? I've got you. It's on shelves everywhere. I see it everywhere. This bottle I picked up it is currently listed on Total Wine's website for $55.99. $55.99 for one of the best releases this year, without a doubt. And I say that talking about Russell's 13, talking about, I haven't had Jack 14. I mean, I've seen people compare it as a better bourbon than Stag Junior. I don't have a release from this year. I'm hoping to get one here soon so I can do a comparison. But this bottle is so good, and I just see it collecting dust on shelves. You know why? It's because Jefferson's got gimmicky with their Ocean series and then their Tropics, and good product. Don't get me wrong, it's good product, but it just got gimmicky. And this is getting back to what matters about bourbon. I already released a video on it. It's a cask strength product. It's 130 proof. I told you when I was tasting it that it was definitely proofy, but that is such a good bottle. I don't have a backup to it. I need to get one because so when it says limited release, my expectation is they're not going to produce this every year. So that being said, though, there's plenty on the shelf. So I just need to go grab a backup if it's going to be a one-time thing, because that is so good. That is such a good bourbon. Again, great value. Great value at $56 from Total Wine. Okay, last bottle, sorry, but first place. And I put this in here for Chris because I was recommending this bottle to him the other day. And I just was curious then, okay, put your money where your mouth is and see if it can win a blind or how it would do in a blind. And sure enough, here we go. So in first place, the Maker's Mark Wood Finishing Series 2025 Keepers Release. Now they say the notes of bold oak and toasted sweetness. Now, to me, I got some chocolatey in there of like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Now when it says toasted, that's really interesting to me because I think of toasted marshmallow. I think of toasted with Reese's peanut butter cups because I put a Reese's peanut butter cup in my s'more rather than Hershey's chocolate. For those of you who don't know, that is a pro tip in my opinion. But this bottle is a finished product. So Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey barrel finished with 10 virgin oak staves. So it is a finished product. This is my second bottle of this. This is such a good bourbon. I paid, so those of you who might be getting worked up, because I think the MSRP on this is a little bit higher than what we went for in this range, the MSRP. That being said, $65 at Costco. Picked it up at Costco. They also do the Lost series at Costco, but I got this one at Costco and shit, $65, come on. It won the blind. Honestly, pretty handily. I had it at a 3.7 plus, but that thing is just dynamite. I mean, dynamite. One of the best bourbons that I have on my shelf right now at a reasonable price point, particularly when you're talking $50, $60, $65. So, curious how you guys did, or how you picked them. Did you think that this is the order I was going to pick them in? Again, like I said, all of these just absolutely great products. You could take these three and get rid of them, and I would drink this one all day. This is a great bourbon, a 1792 full proof, and that applies to all of these. So my question to you is, which one of these are you going to pick up? Are there any that you already have that you like? Give me your feedback. I'd love to know what you think about them. But as always, please drink responsibly. I hope you enjoyed this video, and cheers.